Cheers, George Wentz ass. I'm Sam.
The sag is fragged gag is my bag, you slag. This is Space Truckers on Stinker Madness. Hello and welcome to this show called Stinker Madness. This week on the show, on the podcast, on the thingy-dingy that you're listening to, it's just Sam and I. It's going to be a quiet week this week, but we'll still probably be obnoxious as always. We've got Space Truckers starring Dennis Hopper, Steffendorf, and Charles Dance, along with a slew of other rounders that we'll get into. It's currently streaming on Amazon Prime from 1997, Space Truckers. So yeah, check that out. Sam, go.
I think it was 96, and the reason why it couldn't be in theaters is that theaters were full of movies like Independence Day and The Rock, and there wasn't any room for this shit.
Yeah, those are kind of big deals.
So this one got premiered on HBO, and I'm still not real sure why HBO was like, no, we got better stuff to do than this.
Yeah, right. Because this isn't early HBO, you know, like in the 80s where they were buying up basically any VOD thing to add to their catalog to get people to jump into this weird subscription service. They've already got things like, I mean, is The Sopranos out at this time?
Not yet.
Okay, but pretty close.
Yeah.
They're doing the Band of Brothers was definitely out by this point in time. They're doing some big stuff. They've got Rome is up on the horizon. What was their other big? Oh, Sex and the City was at this point.
I think those all happened right after this.
Okay, well, still, what are they doing buying Space Truckers? I mean, Cinemax, yeah.
I feel like it was, he knew somebody, he felt bad for him, he probably got fired for buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even, because it's in a weird spot where, like, HBO can afford it, but then Showtime couldn't, but they might want it. Because it's a little, like, this thing cost $25 million to make.
Yeah, this wasn't a cheap film. I mean, and it shows. It's not like they blew the money. I mean, they did on spending $25 million on a very odd niche market film, but it looks good. I mean, they spent the money wisely. They didn't make a crappy. I mean, they spent $25 million. It's an expensive movie.
It's crappy. They made bad decisions.
Okay, all right. I'll hear you out.
Mistakes were made. He even says so in the film. So, I like the history of this film. It's Stuart Gordon who did Reanimator, of course, and the wonderful. What was the one that we watched, From Beyond?
Yeah,
okay.
From Beyond, right. Also did Fortress, obviously.
Fortress. He wrote Honey, I Stroke the Kids. He didn't direct that.
Yeah, that was Zemeckis, I think.
Something. He did Robot Jocks, which is a total pile of shit.
Oh boy, you're going to step on some toes there, I'm telling you.
We'll do Robot Jocks. I'm ready. I'm ready. It took 10 fucking years to wash that taste out of my mouth, though. That shit sucks. I don't care what anybody says. That movie blows.
Okay.
I've never seen Castle Freakin' Dolls, have you?
I have seen No, I've seen both of those. Dolls has what's her face? Denise Crosby. It sucks.
Okay.
I don't like it. Castle Freak is a shitty basket case.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
The one that is most interesting to me is The Wonderful Ice Cream Suit with Joe Mantegna.
What? The Wonderful Ice Cream Suit?
It's got Clifton Collins Jr. in it, too.
With Joe
And it's written by the Ray Bradbury.
Oh my God.
So they took
I've got to see that.
Just the play that he wrote and just did it on screen. And I must see it to see what's going on with that.
That sounds far out.
Yeah. During the production of this film, it was the untitled Irish space movie. According to what I've read, Steven Dorff's agent didn't like the name Space Truckers.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a couple Space Truckers. It could have just been Space Trucker.
Steven Dorff's agent, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah, I mean, what else do you call this movie? And also, like, who the fuck do you think you are? And also, did you read the script before you started going, let's get picky about the title? There's other things that you could get picky about.
There's some things you could really get picky about.
Space Truckers is not the problem.
Like having your client in it.
Well, you know...
Because let's also go, Steven Dorff, who the fuck do you think you are?
Dude, so did you get into this whole Black Widow Steven Dorff thing that just happened?
I didn't dignify it with enough attention, but I looked a couple times and I'm like, you're on my feed twice, Steven Dorff. You need to shut the fuck up right now.
Where? And I didn't look at it at all, but I went and saw Black Widow, and it kissed my ass, anybody. It's amazing. It's arguably... I can argue it that it's the best Marvel movie that there is. But the reviews aren't great. I mean, 6s and 7s, those are fine, but not great. And then the Stephen Dorff thing comes out, and I'm like, why is Stephen Dorff talking about anything? A, and B, who's jotting this down? And it wasn't even like it was in the Daily Beast or Vogue.com article. It was in the Washington Post. The Post had an article about Stephen Dorff critiquing Black Widow.
Yeah, that's where the gossip I find. That's where I go if I want to read gossip and bullshit is the New York Post. It's better than TMZ.
No. Not the New York Post. That makes sense. The freaking Washington Post.
What the fuck are they doing on this Steven Dorff thing?
Bob Woodward is like, well, I got nothing else going on now that Trump's not president. I'll get into this Stephen Dorff controversy.
So what did he was basically, this is why I don't do movies like this. Is something like, no, you don't do movies like that because nobody wants you in their movies. You do movies like fucking Space Truckers.
Who's Stephen Dorff? Oh, man. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, I don't know, A, why his agent is talking shit, and B, why he is talking shit. Like, Blade was almost okay enough for you to say, hey, man, I'm Stephen Dorff. But even that wasn't good enough for you to talk shit about anything.
That is Blade. He's probably the weakest link in that thing.
He's probably the weakest link in the movie.
Because you can't look at him and go, even if you have superpowers that are vampire superpowers, Wesley Snipes would kick your ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah. He's going to chop you into little bits, and you're already kind of little bits.
You're already little bits. He's gonna punch you into another time zone.
All right. Stephen Dorff. Yeah, he's in this movie.
Dennis Hopper apparently offered Rip Torn a role in this movie.
Okay.
I'm assuming George Wendt's role.
Because it could have been Charles Dance's role too.
I doubt it. Charles Dance's role seems like it's a pretty dancey role. You really want Charles Dance for that role.
Yeah, maybe. Rip Torn's done villains before, though.
Not that kind of villain. I don't know. Maybe it would have worked with the, Pull Start Wiener or whatever.
I mean, we're talking Rip Torn, dude. He can pretty much
do whatever he wants. Right? But I guess Dennis Hopper claimed that he pulled a knife on him during Easy Rider.
Okay.
And Rip Torn sued him, anti-defamation. And so that was his oh, maybe this will smooth things over between me and Rip. I'll offer him a role in Space Truckers.
He was like, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. It's exactly what he said. And I'm like, what the fuck does Rip Torn even want with an anti-defamation suit? He's Rip Torn.
Right.
Of course I pulled a knife on him. I'm Rip Torn.
His name is a synonym. I mean, you can't do better.
Yeah. So the last thing I got on this movie is, do you know who Debbie Mazar is?
I tried to figure it out. and see if she was somebody I couldn't be bothered enough.
I'll tell you, as far as I could get, she's not Fairuza Balk.
Right?
That's who she is.
Because I looked it up and I was like, wait, is this an 80s movie? Is that Meg Foster? Meg Foster, whatever her name is. No, wait, this is 1997. That's not Meg Foster. That's got to be Fairuza Balk. Wait, no, it's not. I mean, how is it not? How is it not the same person?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she ended up in like, I don't know, some of those CBS shows. I think she had a decent run of like 5 seasons of some CBS
Nope,
show.
I think you're thinking of somebody else that looks kind of like her.
Okay, well, whatever.
The NCIS girl is not her.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Who else is in this? We got, as you mentioned, George Wendt.
Charles Dance gets on the poster.
Yeah. Bennett. Vernon Wells.
Vernon Wells is in it.
That guy who lost his job and went to the donut place that Wayne goes to, and Ed O'Neill was like, you want to rip that guy's heart out and show it to him just so he could see how black it is? That guy was in it. He was like, no, I was actually thinking about filing a claim with the union. It's the world's a crazy place.
Yeah.
That's such a great line. God, it seemed like there was somebody else in it that I noticed.
Well, Shane Rimmer is familiar for being a character actor in all sorts of shit. Like, he's the guy that plays the president or somebody official, the board CEO guy or whatever, the company man. Mm-hmm. He's notable for playing the company man in all sorts of stuff. And then Barbara Crampton, the mom at the end, she's the girl from Reanimator.
Yeah, right. Barbara Crampton. I forgot. She was barely in it, but yeah, could have gone for more of her. All right, we ready to dig into Space Truckers?
Sure. I have all of 12 notes here.
Yeah. I got 2.5 pages. All right, Space, the truckin' frontier. God damn it,
I'm going to do it now. Right now, we have to go, okay, Alien is a movie about space truckers.
That was instantly my thought. I was like, oh my God, Alien's a trucking movie. That's bitchin'.
It's bitchin'.
Is it the best trucking movie that's ever been made? Like best quality trucking movie?
You're asking me if Alien is better than Smokey and the Bandit, and I don't know if I can answer that without any bias.
That's tough. Yeah, we'd have to back those.
Yeah,
really, like,
they don't
shut
back
the
to back
down.
well. That's like making It's like making a hamburger with like a Hershey's bar on top of it.
Mm-hmm,
it might be good.
Yeah. I never thought about that movie being about trucking, but instantly I'm like, as soon as trucking happens in this movie, and I start thinking about the science behind, like, trucking's actually a pretty good idea in space. Like, that would be a pretty decent job if it worked. We're going to need space trucking. Oh my God, those motherfuckers that got ate were space truckers.
They were space truckers, and their space truckers are badass because they were like not just something longer than the, tractor they were pulling it. They had like this little skiff tugging like a fucking city, basically. Oil,
right.
Refinery rig or some shit like that. Like, it's just, yeah.
Wasn't the ship in Jason X also space trucking?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they were space trucking.
The only thing I remember about Jason X is how silly he looks in space, and that they had to like do virtual reality lesbian sex to get him to murder someone for crimes of passion.
Right. Okay. All right. So we're on Triton, Neptune's largest moon, and there's a space base there. I don't know what the space base does really, other than what's about to happen. I don't understand its purpose, but there is an attack on Triton. Attack on Triton.
There's something like seal the room.
Never heard of that anime, Attack on Titan, Sam?
Yeah, that's for teenagers and millennials.
Attack on Triton. I thought it was a pretty good joke.
Okay,
no. It's written right here. It's even in quotes.
Sam will like this one. He likes anime that isn't for teenagers.
I drew that emoji with its mouth open like, oh my God.
I
got no reaction.
To watch Attack on Titan, and it's like giant people without skin are attacking megacities. And why?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It's pretty in depth. I actually watched the whole thing.
You watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing. Well, not the whole thing, because there's still 2 episodes of Attack on Titan coming that apparently take 3 years to make. Final 2 episodes. It's worse than Game of Thrones. Like, what's the delay? And I'm like, I don't even care. I watched the whole thing and I'm like, wait, I can't even end it. I made a commitment to doing this just because I'm like, well, I'm 10 episodes in. I might as well watch the other 30.
How did you make? I couldn't make it past the second. Like 2 episodes is what I give something. If I'm not like really interested after 2 episodes of an anime, I'm done. And I was not interested in that
because it was anime that it wasn't panty anime. I was like, all right, I'll give this shit a try because at least it doesn't have upskirts constantly in it that piss me off.
Yeah, that stuff gets rough.
I like story-driven stuff. Okay, anyways, but still, yeah, it wasn't very good. So, anyways, they shut down the base. The doors have been sealed.
Seal the doors. Countdown to sealing the door, and the door's starting to seal. And it's like your countdown is behind. Door's closing itself. Countdown faster.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And then this lady is like, the door is sealed. The door is sealed. And just wanders around in a circle saying that. And you're like, okay, the door is sealed.
She has a great career ahead of her working for Dr. Evil. Outside, there's guys in big tanks. I don't know what these things are, but they're like the forward deployment, like recon guys, like we're here checking stuff out, and oh my god, we got blowed up, and now post 3 is gone, and everything's crashing down, and they're like, oh my god, how many of these guys are there? Just 1, and he is coming, says Charles goddamn Dance. Isn't he the best?
Yeah, he is. He's something else.
Pretty much the best. Yeah. I feel like we got, like, if there was a movie about Earth and we did a podcast on it, we'd be like, God, what a missed opportunity with Charles Dance, not Charles Band. Fuck that guy. He's okay. Charles Dance, like, because think about the amount of stinkers that Charles Dance was in and how good his career should have been, but it wasn't. And honestly, most people wouldn't even know that he exists if it hadn't been for Tywin Lannister. And obviously, he was the greatest Tywin Lannister you could possibly cast. Yeah. What a missed opportunity. We should have more of this guy.
The further I get away from having seen all of Game of Thrones, the more resistant I am to having to watch any of it ever again. Like, now that it's been over a year since I watched Game of Thrones, if somebody asked me, hey, would you like to watch Game of Thrones? I would be like, go fuck yourself.
Right. No, you would be very upset.
I would be like, oh, no, I need that 4 months of my life this time around.
No, this is the anime version of Game of Thrones. It's got upskirts.
All right, well, if it doesn't hold me in the first 2 episodes, I'm giving up on it.
Does it have nudity? No, it's just got upskirts. Panty shots. Aplenty. Do they wear panties in Westeros, do you suppose?
I always think
about that. Yeah. Like, yeah, right. Some of them don't. But, like, you think about, like, medieval fantasy movies. I mean, like, did they bother with bras? Like, why would you even bother with bras if you're in a fantasy world?
I am not sure. And did they have poop all over themselves?
Right, they would definitely have poop all over themselves.
Poopy people.
But if I was like, if I was like Ned Stark or I don't know, Frodo, anybody that's cool, Gandalf. I bet you Gandalf doesn't wear underwear. Why would Gandalf wear underwear?
Do you think that
what
Gandalf
kind of underwear
has?
Would a wizard wear?
Does Gandalf even have genitals?
Is
he like a troll? He's just smooth down there.
Yeah, right. I wonder. Wizard junk. Okay, speaking of junk, Charles Dance, we'll get into his junk later. The door starts melting, and in walks our big bad. And it's a freaking Geth from Mass Effect. I was like, wait a minute, I've seen you before. It's a Geth.
Yeah, but... So the guy that modeled the whatever bad things is Hajime Sorayama, who is quite renowned as a designer. He all of those really shiny, sexy robots that you see like pinups of, that's him. And then if you look at more of his stuff, there's, robots that are just getting screwed by robots and all of that. Mm-hmm. But he's been copied 1,000 times, so he might have. It's really more that he did that for this. He did this for the movie, and I don't think that the Geth steal this exactly, though they might. They do steal his shit pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so BioWare didn't borrow from Space Truckers. They're just like, we're going to borrow from the same guy everybody else borrows from. Because, man, and I'm not insulting his work. I think this thing looks cool. It's usually in a movie.
It's the only thing in this movie that looks cool. Every other piece of mechanical design is total bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, the villain is friggin' rad. I was very surprised that it was as cool. I was waiting to be disappointed when he is coming, says Charles Dance. I'm like, oh man, if this is Dennis Hopper, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah,
but no, it's a killer robot. Walks in. It's got what's its armament here? It's got like a face laser zapper.
He says
exploder.
It's a particle beam, and it basically just. I think my note is. Your feet come off.
Right.
Or your body gets vaporized and all that's left is feet.
Random. It's a very random particle beam. The effects are very vague in how it works. But he's also got Batman elbows and knife hands. So he's pretty cool. Oh, and like
claws.
He's got claws, tough feet, clawed feet, and then like spaghetti guts. That can work like Lord of the Rings vines and kill you.
Yeah. And it's a sexy lady because that robot's got a sweet ass. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but that was rockin' bod. Because that's what all of his designs are female robots for the most part. Very sexy.
Yeah.
And so they had basically aerobics instructors in these things.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. They also know karate, as we find that out later. So anyways, it kills everybody that's got a gun, except for the main guy, Sags, and Charles Dance, whose name I had to look up on IMDb. He's called Nabel. I don't even know if it's said one time in the movie.
It is said at least once.
Okay, but Nabel's got a remote control for it. This whole thing was just an exhibition of his prototype. It's not even a prototype. He's already built 5,000 of the damn things. Like, maybe start with one and then do this and be like, so do you want to spend a bunch more money? But yeah, he's built this death machine, and the company man, Sags, is like, I love it.
And it doesn't have, like, there's not settings. It's just fucking kill everything and off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Those are the only two settings on this. This is a maniacal creation.
It's pretty much like every movie says that zombies are made to become a military force. That's how they've been created. These are zombies that are much more better at killing.
This would go through that said zombie military force like a hot knife through butter.
What about an army of aliens?
Not gonna last very long.
Yeah, the xenomorphs are done. The xenomorphs do have their big thing is numbers, though.
Yeah, but you see this thing work the first time, and again, this anti-personnel particle beam that takes away half a platoon with one shot. Numbers don't mean something against this.
That's true.
You see this thing fight, and you're like, this is a pretty unstoppable murder robot. I have the Predator doesn't make it against this. Danton, I'm not sure, can make it against this.
Danton would fuck this thing.
Okay, would he?
Of course
he would, because later this thing's going to lose.
He doesn't have a shirt on, Sam. That's
later.
I mean,
this thing's going to lose a fight to a waitress and a trucker.
Yeah, Dan's no problem. He snorts these for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I guess their plan is to have 5,000 of these and take over Earth? Is that
They're going to murder Earth. They're going to destroy it, and then he can become the king.
Of what? Where's your crown, King Nothing?
King Nothing, yeah, I don't know.
Huh, okay.
Also, did you notice that people aren't made of blood and guts? They're made of, like, pink goo.
Okay, so I thought I
Bubblegum?
looked at this too, and I was like, why are they... Oh, wait, so when he melts the doors, the door remnants are also made of bubblegum. So maybe they just were like, okay, well, this is the effect goop that we have. Everybody gets covered in this. Or the film is saying that its particle beam changes particles into bubblegum, whatever those particles are.
I don't know, but it looks goofy.
It looks super goofy. You can't have people explode into bubblegum. Gumballs. And my leg is made of cauterized gumballs.
Yeah. Later on, she's like, oh, I've cauterized everything. And you're like giggling because what was described at the end of Rambo or First Blood sounds horrible. But when you actually see it, you're like, silly gumballs.
All right, so then Sags is like, well, the thing about having an army of killer robots is that you have to have deniability. Really? You do? Who's going to ask you, like, hey, are those your killer robots? Yeah. Die. I mean, you don't need deniability.
Yeah, and then we think he murders Charles Dance with his own creation of Murderbot, but, like, how's that help his deniability at all?
Right. Also, he's the only guy who can make more, just in case. Pretty bad idea. Okay, so cut to actual space trucking. This is where Dennis Hopper comes in. His character's name is John Canyon. Hell yeah. Good name, guys.
It's a good porn name.
Yeah. I'm John Canyon. Wait, shouldn't it be Jill Canyon?
There's a Chrissy Canyons.
Chrissy Canyons. Yeah. Why would she... That's... Oh, her butt and her crotch.
I don't know.
Cleavage. I don't know. Canyons. If you're a dude, you want to be like John Thunder Peak or something.
Yeah, I'd be Bill Dongerton. And I probably wouldn't make it.
Well, I wouldn't make it for more than about 20 seconds, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, ho, hey. Okay. Be a pretty disappointing porn star. There's billboards everywhere. I do like this because he's on the truckin' highway. The space, you don't just go that way. You got to stay in your lane. You got highways.
Yeah.
I noticed some fun ones. I've got them written down here. There was a Motorola billboard. There was a Jim Beam billboard, but then it gets a little loosey-goosey, like liquid beef. Mm-hmm. You'll swear it came from a cow. Yep. I like that one. Rubik's Cuban cuisine. Go, go, go with Laxigo, because it's got rocket power. So, I don't know if you want rocket power in your laxative.
I don't think you do.
Red Hot Circle Dog. Do not feed to pets. Yeah, those were the fun ones that I saw. But anyways, John's dropping off a load of square hogs to George Wendt's character, Keller, who runs some intercontinental or interplanetary pork ring.
They talk about, like, you're not in the company, like, the company has all the truckers, he's an independent trucker. There's a lot of, like, real trucking happening here.
Right. Fennec trucking.
And I'm, like, checked out immediately once they do this.
Wait, is Patrick Swayze going to come in and punch a guy? No, we're going to actually... It's like the how the Senate actually works in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. You're like, really? We're really going to do this, George Lucas? Fuck.
Space bureaucracy. That's what we've got. Great.
Well, you learn some of the nuances of trucking here. He refuses to release the load for less than the agreed upon amount. And George Wendt's character has thugs, and he's just going to push them around. But those thugs don't know how to throw zero gravity punches, and Dennis Hopper does, I guess.
I believe I believe both John Canyon does and Dennis Hopper, before he died, knew how to throw a zero gravity punch. That's the type of guy he was.
Yeah.
Crazy. Real crazy.
Real.
Remember how crazy Dennis Hopper got?
Yeah. Well, he was never not crazy.
Yeah, but he got real crazy towards the end. It was like he was in the news every day. Like Randy Quaid's shooting for Dennis Hopper crazy, but nobody really cares enough. Because Dennis Hopper was legit crazy.
He was apparently bonkers when he did that Mad Dog, that Australian movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, apparently he was real tough to work for on that thing.
Yeah. I would not... Like, I could come up with a list. Like Oliver Reed, Dennis Hopper, and like an alligator is the least 3 things I'd want to be in a room with.
And one of these robots from this movie.
More than Dennis Hopper? No, I'll take the robot.
Robot's got a great ass.
That's true. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed, but he also feeds his hot dog to one of the pigs.
Yeah,
I was like, ooh.
I actually watched it twice. I watched it last night and this morning.
The fake pigs. You didn't think the fake pigs looked good?
Everything looks fine. They're just all puzzling decisions. Like,
right?
There's like at least 6 of them. They look practical. That's like, how much did that shit cost?
Right?
What could that have been instead of some fucking cubicle pigs?
Okay. All right. So he's stuck on the ship. They're wherever the hub, waiting to get paid. So he goes to the diner, and that's when we meet Mike and Cindy, his co-stars in this film. Cindy is the waitress of the hub diner, and Mike, played by Stephen Dorff, is another young trucker on his way up, but he's got a kind of bit of a, punk attitude, little whippersnapper.
He just got out of space truckin college.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a thing.
I wonder if Space Trucking College, like if this movie is so aware that it's making predictions about our college. Like, does Space Trucking College cost a lot of money, and then also you just end up a trucker and not really make good money? Because it seems like Dennis Hopper's not making any good money.
I feel like if it was going to follow the for-profit college model, you would pay about as much as you're going to make over the course of your career to go there and then die penniless after 78 years of trucking.
Yep. That's see the stars. That's their big thing.
Have spacesuit, will travel.
Yeah. Am I going to be like a space ranger and have laser guns and like get all the babes? No, you're mostly going to sit in a truck by yourself and eat hot dogs. I'll do it.
Yep.
Pigs in the back, weenies in the front.
Then they show you how much the jack-off machines at the space truck stars are. And you're like, fuck, looks like I'm still jacking. I'm doing that job by hand still.
I can't afford the sex
Can't
bots.
afford that pyramid love space suck thing.
Pyramid love space suck.
I'm just trying to think about what would be like alluring to a space trucker. Because it would have to like have some gaudy appearance that was
Pyramids.
Highly unfunctional as well.
It's kind of like the 3 seashells.
It's like a pyramid, but each side of the pyramid is a lenticular print of a cat face, like a big cat. So it's got like holographic tigers on it, and it like doubles as art. You're like, oh, that's artsy. Yeah, it also sucks my dick.
I should put my penis in it.
I should put my penis in it. These cats are distracting.
Oh, man. All right. So he offers to take Cindy to Earth because she's got to get back there and see her mom, who just woke up from surgery. And he's like, I'll take you there, but only if you'll marry me. And she's like, fine, whatever. So now they're linked up. All right. Meanwhile, Keller has gone and sent his goons to jack his pigs. They're disconnected. John sees it out the window and he's like, son of a bitch, I'm pissed. But I got to instead of going and securing my rig, I got to go to a wake because one of my space trucking friends got obliterated, and the only thing that was left was his wiener by space pirates. So I'm going to go get drunk there, and I'll worry about this pig situation later. But Keller comes into the wake, and he's like, oh, man, 2 birds, 1 stone. I get to get drunk and punch this guy in the face. When he does, a big brawl ensues, resulting in eventually some guy with a gun. How do you even have a gun on a space station?
No, you need to not have that.
You can't have guns on space stations.
Nope. So
Idiot.
he shoots one of the cute windows out.
Cute windows.
They are.
Pyramid shaped.
And
cute window.
you're like, oh no, vacuum of space. And George Wendt gets sucked into it.
Yep. I was a little disappointed right here. I was like, oh boy, he's going to play this up.
Expected the guy from Reanimator to make this quite gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty lame.
It ended up looking like something from the Garbage Pail Kids movie. Like,
no, they would have at least had some spit come out of his mouth or something.
yeah.
He is comically sucked butt first out of a hole that would rip him to shreds. And then his whole body's like tumbling on the other side out in space. And you're like, no, he ended up on the other side of this looking like spaghetti, if that's what you're going for here.
Yeah, we should make a theme like back to back, since this is like the Aliens episode where all we're doing is comparing these things to xenomorphs and the space trucking, and this is shitty Aliens. Alien Resurrection has that great sequence where the hybrid Ripley's daughter alien gets sucked up out the space lock by its ass.
The beautiful butterfly. Is that, speaking of shit that sucks?
Who do I gotta fuck to get off this spaceship?
Yeah. Right now. It's in Alien 3, there's like a dog alien, and it's cooler than that one. This is the ultimate alien. And you're like, well, this one's slow and it looks half retarded.
Oh man, it's so bad. I can't wait to do that movie. I wish it was streaming. That should be our next pick, but it's not streaming. It sucks. That movie blows. It's awesome. Okay, so anyways, yeah, he's dead. That situation resolved itself fairly conveniently. But now I guess they're all wanted for murder or something. So because they're running through the space station and they gotta hide, and so they go into the women's bathroom where John Canyon has a secret backway passage where he opens up a lady who's taken a poop's head, and that unlocks a secret elevator, and they go down and meet this guy named Vesper.
Nope, his name is Mr. Zesty.
Zesty. Zesty Vesper. Vespy. I've got Zespy.
It's Mr. Zesty.
Mr. Zesty.
And I confirm, because this is about how far I made it the first time, and then I gave up and got up in the morning and watched it again. And so he comes in and says, Mr. Zesty. And you're like, what? And Mr. Zesty is a little strange because he's like an old lady, but he's not an old lady.
Right.
And I guess he's just like the trucking black market connection. Like if you want to pull something illegal, you need to talk to Mr. Zesty.
Yeah. Is that what he's there for? Or is he like, get us off this crazy space station?
No, he's if you want to make an illegal haul, Mr. Zesty's down there with forged paperwork.
Is now a good time to be worrying about that? Why don't you just go get those pigs and take them to some other pork selling place?
He doesn't have time for that bullshit. He needs to get a load and get the hell out of here.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, he gets a job
This
from
is
Zesty.
where the points of where it like goes into the nuances of trucking, but then it sort of loses that and gets a little dubious because it's like, so you really just, this is you deal. You're not going to leave without a load. Like you've been space trucking so long, there ain't no reason to go nowhere without something to haul.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Okay. All right. Interesting. Zesty is like, well, I've got let's see here, a load of meatballs heading to Alpha Centauri. I've got some of that space meth. We're shipping that directly to Iowa. Here's a good one. Sex dolls bound for Earth. You want this one? 2 days. You got 2 days. Get these sex dolls down to those guys at Soap World. They love it at Soap World. Sure, I'll take them. So, John, they're all packing up, and they're back on his big rig. And John sees a picture of Cindy's mom as her underwear flows out of her luggage and says, wow, your mom. Hey, I didn't know you something else. Hey, you mind if I add her to my time machine hit list? Is exactly what he says.
Yeah. Actually, he says, wow, you're not half as hot as your mom was.
If I could get my hands on her when she was that age, I would go back in time. Not before you were born, definitely after you were born, but then I would be your dad, your new dad, but then I would return to the present, and I would also be your lover. So I would be your dad. Like, it gets weird, but it's like in Infinity War where the Hulk is like, if you go back in time, it can't be your present because your present can't be the same as your future. So your present becomes a new present. So let's bang. Is what
your present becomes banging family members. It's a gift to yourself.
Yep. That's what he says.
I was even the second time through, like, it really seems like he's like, that's your mom? I totally banged her and you're my daughter.
Right?
That's what it seemed like to me, but that's not what happens.
Okay. No, it's not. It's a little creepy. You're engaged to this woman. You're like, ooh, hey, mom, hot. Anyways, so they grab the load.
Engagement has the same sort of ramifications as a pinky swear.
Right. Okay. Honestly, all engagements do, Sam. I mean, they're not legally binding.
Okay. Well, that's too bad.
Will you marry me? Yeah.
Do I have to further this with the pinky swear? You probably ought to.
I think I changed my mind. Dude, I just proposed like 3 minutes ago. Yeah, well, we didn't pinky swear. Okay, so anyways, he grabs the load, and immediately the cops are on his tail. And pull it over, Buster. You're wanted for murdering Keller. I didn't do that. There's like 1,000 witnesses. He got sucked out of an airlock by his own man's stupidity. But anyways, he's like, I'm off of this highway. I don't have time for this crap. And they abandon pursuit. So he's free and clear. I thought there was going to be like, whoa, he went off the highway? We can't go there. That's the dead zone or something like that. But they're just like, that's too far away.
Or I wanted the explanation of why there's the roadways and that explanation to be, we can't chase him. We will get fucking lost. We will just get lost. We do not know where to go.
It's really dark out there. Have you seen it?
Have you seen how dark and big it is? Where are you? I don't know. Where are you? It's fucking space.
You're in space too. I don't know where we are.
Where are we even now?
Do you? Let me ask you, what is your definition of lost? Because really, you're lost too. You're in space.
Yeah.
Where are you? Oh shit, you're right. I don't know where the fuck we are. Lost in space. Okay, so 6 hours later, they enter the scum cluster, which I guess is just where an abandoned shipyard. There's just wrecked ships everywhere. That's what I thought. There was like bad guys here or something.
There's like couches and shit though,
right?
And there is bad guys there because they are like, looks like a ship hit an asteroid field, and they're like, "Where's this asteroid field?" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about asteroid fields." And the computer's like, "Asteroid field."
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, I think the computer's not working right. We need to."
There's nothing out there.
There's nothing out there, but then Black Rock. I thought the Black Rock was kind of cool. It looked like horse shit.
Yeah.
It was some of the worst 3D animation ever.
It was 1997. I'll forgive it.
Yeah, it looks fine for when it was made. But it's like Black Dog, Black Rock, Black Ice, all of it. I don't know.
Black
Couldn't
Rain.
see it. One of them, after some evasive maneuvers, like hits the door of his super semi.
Yeah,
and it's
they're
like
broke down now.
It's not only broken, but they're gonna fucking die.
Yeah, the coolant, it busted the coolant system. I don't know why it heats up so hot, because it also shut down their engines. Like,
it's not hot in space. It's actually quite cold.
Yeah, right. And you're only 98.6. You're the only source of heat right now, so you're going to freeze to death is actually what you're going to do.
Yep.
Don't get it. Okay, so they're stuck. And John's like, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a EVA. I'm going to go out and I'm going to drop the load off. And I got enough in the parking boosters to put us in the shadows of the Black Rock.
And then I'm going to fix the truck, because I was just talking about fucking my cat pyramid.
Okay, first question. What are parking boosters for?
For boosting parking, duh.
Doesn't make any sense. Like self-parking, like your car does?
Isn't that what the bouncy 60s El Camino? Isn't that like those are parking boosters?
Right. Okay. And then also the shadow of the Black Rock. The shadow? You're in space, stupid. Are you next to the sun? Is that why it's getting so hot and you cut that line out of the dialogue or something?
Maybe.
Okay, but there's no sun. It doesn't make any... Oh, whatever. Moving on. Okay, so he's out there and he's trying to cut the damn thing, break the loose of the load, and I guess he can't just disconnect his hitch. He's got to start cutting into the side of the trailers themselves. And then an automated turret comes out and it's like, hell no, you can't do that. Pew, pew, pew. And he's like, shit, there's automated turrets happening. I better skedaddle.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's getting so hot inside the cab that Steffendorf and Cindy are like, you hot? Yeah, pretty hot. Mind if I take my shirt off? No, I don't mind. Mind if I take my socks off? No, I do not. Mind if I take my back brace off? Yeah. I don't know.
They get pretty down to their spandex, and neither one of them are all that hot.
No, they're not. But then they start making out because they're like, it's too sexy in here, which only makes it hotter inside the cab. And John comes in. He's like, oh, shit, you guys have been screwing, haven't you? And they're like, no, it just smells like Fromunda and is now 10 degrees warmer in here. And we're all gross and slimy.
The windows are all fogged up.
There's a handprint on it. You know, from Titanic. Remember that part?
I tried to forget everything that happened in that movie other than when Bill Paxton blows the line towards the end.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. I also like, I only referenced that, that she boned that guy who later she killed in her own selfishness. No, we can't share the door.
He said Rose so many times I was going to fucking kill him if she didn't.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Sam. So this is Sam on the Titanic. Could you shut up? I'm trying to drown over here.
For 25 minutes, he's running around going, Rose, 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 Rose. People are like crying in the theater, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill this DiCaprio guy. Like, I'm going to fucking kill him.
I hope you Sam's on the Hindenburg going, God damn it, could you put your love scene away? I'm trying to die peacefully. You annoying bastards.
Shut up. Yelling your name
shut up and let us all die.
Doesn't make her come faster. Maybe it does, but if it didn't work the first 68 fucking times, 69's not gonna do it.
69 does it every time, Sam.
Does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work for me, and it's never worked for her. I don't get it. Okay. All right. Or where the hell are we? All right. So John comes in. He's like, "Oh, gross. That's my fiance." And Steffendorf's like, "That's an illegal way that's coercion." Yeah, I know, but that's the only way I can do it. You want to have some beers? So they crack some beers. And then the pirates show up, and they get swallowed like Jonah and the whale.
And this is a very direct ripoff of Space Captain Harlock's ship. Like, it is the same ship in general. So they did steal this.
Is that also some of that panty anime?
When you say panty, does that have the upskirt stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Captain Harlock is pretty straight. They're goddamn space pirates. They don't need upskirt shit.
Okay. That's the qualification, huh?
Yeah.
We ain't got time for that? Okay, cool. So Mike, he wants to stand off. He's like, we're gonna go down like Butch and Sundance, and John's like, seriously? No, we're not. We're gonna negotiate with these guys. We aren't working for the company. We'll just give them what they want, and let's get the hell out of here. I don't even really care about the load, right?
Yeah, if you keep your mouth shut, we will just be on our way soon, which he is unable to do.
Right. Well, he's one of those young bucks. He doesn't have the experience, you know? Got to learn some of this stuff on the road. This is just how you become a veteran trucker. You either die young or you play the game for the long haul. Son, that's what I always tell you. All right, so they're taken prisoner by nobody other than fucking Bennett.
Yep, Vernon Wells shows up.
John, can you hear it, John? I mean, does Bennett only fight guys named John?
No, because he fights Mad Max.
Oh, that's true.
That's where he comes from, and then he is quite less effective at every role after that.
What the hell does he say? It's not Jingle Jangle because that's Wesley Snipes, but it's something stupid like that in Commando. John, am I behind you, John? Stick around. All right, so they're hung up. They literally are stuck around because they're hung up by chains. And then the captain comes down, and he's got a big reveal, and thank God it's fucking Charles Dance. Oh, yes, he is in this movie. Hooray. Yep. Whew. He's looking pretty crappy.
Well, I don't know. For, like, cyborg men in general, for grotesque cyborg men, he's looking very good.
Yeah.
And for, ad hoc cyborg man, he's pretty good.
I also I like that they explain what he did, but they never really explain how he survived.
He just grabbed all of his stuff and slapped it back on there, and then ran into the bathroom and got some Band-Aids. And then he re-engineered all of his organs. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're dead.
Yeah, you didn't make it. You got blasted by your own machine that has one setting, and it's die. So, no. But he's like, all right, tell me what you guys are hauling. I'm going to steal it. I'm a pirate captain now. I have no other motivations other than to steal cargo. I guess maybe he's only stealing from the company because they, shot him with his own space death machine.
Yeah.
Maybe. So he's trying to get their stuff and screw them up. I don't know. He's like, so tell me what you got in there. And they're like, we don't know. It says sex dolls, but I don't think it is. There's an auto turret thing here and we can't get into it. And Charles Dance is like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to chop your dick off if you don't tell me.
Do you really think we have time to not do trucking? That we are making so much money that we can be late by tampering with the cargo? No. It says sex dolls on here and the fucking thing shot at me. That's what I know.
I'll tell you one thing I don't think it is. I don't think it's sex dolls. So, okay, well, how about I chop your dick off? Fine. Chop my dick. I do like this line because he's like, go ahead. If you're going to chop my dick off, do it. And I'll change my name to Lee or Casey or Chris, one of those neutral names. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun.
It's kind of funny. But then Charles Dance goes, is this your dick? And then Steven Dorff goes, no, that's mine.
No, that one's mine.
So he's grabbing the wrong dicks.
It was very dry. Nope, that one's mine. What? Okay.
Is this your dick? I can't tell what I'm doing anymore. Years of evil Dr. Villeneuve taken my judgment, and I now cannot tell whose penis I'm grabbing.
oh, hey, there's a lady over here. Oh, man, I could have been grabbing her crotch instead of grabbing yours. I'll go over there. So he gets pretty rapey with Cindy. And she's like, all right, seriously, you're going to do this anyways, and you're going to make it painful. So how about I'll bang you if you let us go? And Charles Dance is like, yeah, okay. That's the type of villain I am. I like it when they consent.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
Well, we find out, though, why is because he likes to brag about how well he did putting himself back together with some Christmas lights and a gumball machine. There was one major addition added, though.
Yeah.
A pull start wiener.
Okay, yeah. So he has... This is so strange. He's basically half the man he used to be.
Yeah.
Because they go up there. She's tied to the bed. Well, she's not even tied to the bed. She's thrown on the bed. She's still wearing what she was wearing before when she was humping Stephen Dorff. And he's like, oh, shall I undress in front of you? And she's like, if you have to, let's just get this over with. Would you like some MDMA to calm your nerves? And she's like, MDMA? Seriously?
Yeah.
Calm my nerves? Okay. Or would you like to try the mushrooms? I've got a little bit of everything. I've even got to the last quaalude in the universe. And she's like, no, let's just get this over with. He's like, okay, watch me undress. And so he takes his clothes off. And his entire left side of the body is not body. It's cyborg. So I was like, it's not like you see his whole body.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he had half normal penis and half robot penis. But he does have a pull start penis.
He does. He has a totally artificial and mechanical penis.
But then she knocks him down later.
And he doesn't have a penis at all.
And he's a Ken doll. What? But he says... Maybe he doesn't have a penis because he's like, I replaced everything downstairs with a vibrating electromagnetic pulse machine that drives women crazy. And she's like, she's repulsed by it. She's like, ooh, I'm going to barf. At what?
Yeah, it doesn't. And he's, yeah.
So does he have just a nut cup that he like puts on the thing that I don't know where is at, the man in the boat, and it does its job? And she's like, whoa, but she's like, barf, I like grody looking penises instead.
Yeah. It's like, if you've seen as many trucker dicks as I have, no. Clean machinery is quite repulsive.
I like them big and warty. Okay. I'm lost.
She pushes him down and then like goes in disguise and fools one of his henchmen. And this is hard to watch because she does such a bad job.
It's real bad. But before that, they did find that auto turret, and it cut through like 20 of the pirates before somebody hit it with a rocket launcher.
The one named Sam's like, it smells like hamburgers in here. That's you, Sam. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Okay, so they try to escape, but she's too slow, and John fortunately talks Mabel, whatever his name is, into checking out the load. Before you do anything with us, let's find out what's in this thing. He's like, good idea. I want you to see what you're missing out on. So he brings in this giant laser. Like, why not just start with the giant laser, you idiots? And they cut their way inside, and he sends Bennett and some other guy in there to check it out. They're like, whoa, what is this stuff? And then he immediately comes in, and he's like, these are my babies. I gave birth to them through my genius.
Mm-hmm.
Through my fallopian genius. Out they came through the birthing canal of my mind. Side of the vagina. And they said, "Hello, Daddy," when they came out as the doctor slapped them in the face and cut off the umbilical cord of my brilliant intellect, you daft dummies. Okay, what are they, though? They're killer robots.
Yep.
Oh, shit, should we get out of here? Nah, they're fine. Oh, my God, there's one missing. And I guess, well, we'll come back. We'll circle back to this. But one is missing. It's out of its cage. And Charles Dance turns around and he's like, oh, shit. Even though I've got the remote control for it. You think he's fine, but he's not. This thing busts out and all hell breaks loose in the pirate ship. It kills everybody.
Yep.
And it gets pretty gruesome. I was like, PG-13? Really?
That's why there's pink bubble gum when they're being disemboweled.
And when a guy's head explodes?
Yeah, you get to see the particle beam go to work, and they're just popping in the liquid. They're like Dr. Manhattaning these people.
Yeah. Bennett's legs come off. He swords a dude in half, vertically, and it's on screen. It's pretty gory.
Yep.
I think PG-13 was a little generous. I guess it's a little silly here and there, but I guess that's one of my questions for later. Anyways.
I think that what happened was, I'll just answer it right now. Not Fairuza Balk and Steven Dorff were so unhot in their underwear that it dragged it back from rated R to PG-13.
Nice. Okay. So Cindy frees the boys in the chaos, and they open up the doors to the pirate ship so they can escape, and they run in their ship. And they get out and they take off just as the pirate ship explodes. Kaboom! But they hear a knocking in the first container, so they go back there, and it's Charles Dance, and he's got no legs. So he was half the man he used to be, but now he's half the man he used to be.
Yeah.
So he's a quarter of a man. And he tells them, he's like, so here's the deal with the death machines. They come out in waves. They go 2, 4... 8, 16. Yeah, we get it. We get that math. You don't need to go all the way to 128, 256, 512, 1024.
And then they're like, we didn't know that they went that high. We're truckers.
Numbers go that high, dang.
I can't get that many hamburgers, so I never figured on counting that big.
And the only way to stop him is his remote control that has one button on it. So he gives that to him and then he dies.
It's just off.
Right.
It doesn't even turn him back on.
So to Geth, they bust in and John shuts him down. And he's like, oh, that was pretty easy. Huh, how about that? But inside, 4 more activate. So they shut down 2 and they're like, wait, we only shut down 2. There should be 4. Where's the other 2? So they go look around, looking inside, and they've gone through the breach in the hole from the space laser, and they're headed towards the cabin where Cindy's at. And they're just like, oh shit, we got to get up there. And they go up there, and the Geth have busted through the windshields of the big rig, and Cindy suited up just in time, and they get in a big fight, and things happen here.
Yeah, this is the part where the beginning of the ultimate death machines being thwarted by a waitress and a trucker and a junior trucker.
John loses the remote. It gets knocked out of his hand. So now he doesn't even have that, which means the only way to stop these machines is that remote, or is it? What about these other ways? Like freezing it with some frozy stuff?
Yeah, they used some liquid nitrogen on the one that decided to... It also, it helps them by getting stuck in the door. That death robot was all of a sudden in hot water when it got stuck in the door.
Right. Oh, man. Death robot. Stuck in doors. Okay. Design problems we might have here, boys. We might want to try this again. It melts doors. And this one's stuck in a door. I don't get it.
And it's like, oh, I've got tummy spaghetti, though.
Mm-hmm.
I can still get you with this. And you're like, or you could just use your particle beam and kill her and blow this thing in half.
Right. And at one point, it's like, I think it says, I can't use particle beam because can't destroy big rig that's taking us to Earth.
Yeah.
Prime directive. But that doesn't make any sense because it's a particle beam and it's got pretty good aim because it did just laser that one guy's head to explode, and it also like zapped just a torso of a guy and never like, it's not like a space laser that punches through everything for 30 miles or something like that. You're going to be fine. Just aim it at the thing you want to blow. Okay, your head's gone. Dead. She's dead.
Yeah.
Pretty stupid. Also, John microwaves one. Jams a microwave on its head and zaps it, and it blows up like the gremlin.
And then it's like he pushes it out into the space, I guess. He beats one up with a microwave. These things vaporize tanks.
It took down an entire pirate army.
It blew up one of them. One blew up the entire pirate ship.
Yeah, right. And you two are easily able to take. Okay, whatever. All right, so now they've made Earth orbit, and they're like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We gotta destroy the rest of these. Let's burn them up in the atmosphere. You two get on the escape thing that's on top of the space rig, and you guys go down there. I'll blow the load and drive the rest of the pachyderm down. Well, if you're gonna just drive the pachyderm down, why don't we all just ride in it? Nope. I've got to set myself up for one of those Bruce Willis Armageddon things where it's like, I hope you have a good life, daughter, and you marry that Ben Affleck boy, and always remember your daddy. Kaboom! I'm getting pretty old. If I'm gonna do a hero's death, this is how I want to go. You guys go get married and have a good life. They're like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
They don't even argue with him. He's clearly giving a hero speech, and they're like, yeah, good luck.
See you later, buddy.
See you on Earth. And even if you make it, you're never going to see us again. We're leaving.
No, but they don't, because the Geth infest the ship so much that Steven Dorff has to come and use the rockets on the escape pod to vaporize the killer robots.
Yeah, you can just burn them up in with rocket thrusters from an escape craft. Escape crafts don't even need rocket thrusters. You only use them when you're near a planet, and you use that planet's gravity to go down. I mean, you don't put... That's stupid.
Nope.
That whole time you were stuck out in space, and you're like, oh, we'll just hang out in a shadow for 5 hours. You're saying you had rocket thrusters inside the... Oh, God damn it. You could have towed yourself out of there.
Nope.
Jack... Oh, you're not good truckers. All right. Yeah, so it works. The Geth burn up, and then Mike and Cindy are down on Earth, and they're like, oh, hey, look, there he is. He's coming. Oh, shit. He blew up. Dang it. And then...
But he's okay.
Yeah.
Parachute.
Parachuted his way down, and you're like, oh, man, thank God this movie is over. But it's not. Because later... Denimois, they're fucking heroes. There's a radio announcement that's like, 2 truckers and a waitress saved Earth from killer robots. Yeah, let's all give them a hand. And they're like, wait, there's no evidence of anything. It all got burned up in the atmosphere. Nobody knew shit about this whole thing. So 3 people land on Earth, walk to a radio station, and are like, we've got a story to tell you, Mr. Newscaster. And that newscaster is like, sounds like you guys are heroes. I'll take your word for it. Here's the keys to the city and 100 hot ladies.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Seems legitimate.
Okay.
All of the evidence burned
robots
in the atmosphere, huh?
Now you're saying that these killer space robots took down an entire pirate ship and can't be killed, but you two killed them easily. Yeah, looks like makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, so they meet up with Cindy's mom, and she's Barbara Crampton. She's hot, and Dennis Hopper's like, whoa, ho, ho, hey, I don't even need a time machine. Looks like you've been on ice this whole 20 years. And she's like, yeah, hope I don't have freezer burn. And he's like, if you do, all melted with my Dennis Hoppery good looks. And she's like, Dennis Hopper's good looks.
Say, hey, handsome, are you talking to me? Of fucking course not.
But hold on. Some special agents come in and they're like, well, clear the room. The president's on his way. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Gotta tie this up. I see where this is going. It's Sags, of course, from the beginning of the movie that killed Charles Dance. He's the company man. He's like, hey, yeah, I'm president now. There was a merger. Corporations rule the universe, and I'm the CEO. So here's your cash. Keep quiet about everything. I don't want this getting out and ruining my election chances, even though I'm basically Vladimir Putin, whatever. John accepts. He's like, you guys are going to need that money to start off your life. And they're like, we don't want that dirty blood money. And Steffendorf chucks it out the window right as Sag's like, wrap up this loose end, and hits the remote detonator. But the bomb fell on his car and exploded him instead. And that's when Sag is fragged.
Yep. And then it comes on the news and they're like, we're taking their word for this one too. Heroes again. The president was evil, I guess. Now he's dead, though, with his own bomb.
Where the truckers told us he was evil, so he has to be, because those guys have got a pretty good reputation for dealing with stuff that they tell us about. All right, you think the movie's over, but it's not. Oh, man. They're on a space shuttle. That's their new big rig that they're like, thank God Sags gave us this too. He did? He said nothing about, also I'll throw in a space shuttle big rig.
He did say that. He was going to throw one in, yeah.
Oh, I missed that. All right, whatever. All right, sorry. Sorry, everyone. It's been a long day. And then they blast off to Destination Unknown. Now the movie's over, thank God. You want to start? Questions?
How long does their partnership last?
The next space base.
That's what I would figure.
I mean, I don't even know why they're on that truck together. Where are they? I mean, why? They don't like each other. They don't need each other. Well, I guess they're, sort of Eskimo bros. They're Eskimo dad and son.
I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like Dennis Hopper's got a major boner for What's-Her-Face's mom, but I'm pretty sure that What's-Her-Face's mom does not have a major boner for Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Wow. I've always wanted to marry a space trucker. It's been I just woke up from 20 years of being sick because she's like, yeah, they put me on ice because I had a lethal disease. And they fixed me, but I mean, I've got some catching up to do. How about I get in your space truck?
Yeah, she was like, what was it? And she was like, late stage chlamydia. Once you let it get too far, you can't do much about it. In the future, you can.
Yeah, not very long. So mine is, I'm confused. What's the plot? Seriously, what's the plot of this movie?
Space trucking.
It's not, though.
I know.
There is very little space trucking that actually takes place in this movie. They're kidnapped by pirates who apparently flew them right next to Earth. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why are these death machines being sent to Earth? Like, what's Sags doing? Like, I'm going to take over the planet that I live on and I'm president of. I don't understand what the plot is.
It's almost like they tried to make it so different from Alien that it ends up having almost the same plot, but then not really having a plot at all. Because these truck full of these robots is basically like one Alien.
Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. You?
I've asked my only question.
Okay. Why not R? That's my other one. Like, if you're going to do this, why not go all the way? Why not? I mean, are you trying to sell it to families? Because this isn't a family movie. Like, at first I was thinking maybe this is going to be like Ice Pirates and Isaiah, my son can watch it. No, I wouldn't have my son watch this at all. There's like a lot of dark stuff in here, and but it's not R. If it'd been R, would it have worked?
No, it may have been more fun because of the gore factor. But right now you still have that, and it's silly and bubblegummy.
Yeah.
And I know the answer to why not R is that it's 1996. You can't put this much money behind R without having somebody who's not Dennis Hopper to put the butts in the seats. Like, selling an R for a major block in 96 was not a doable thing. And they didn't even get a block. Mm-hmm. They ended up on HBO because it was too crappy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I've got a challenge for you. Compare this to something from the late 90s that did actually sell. Like, what's the closest you can get to this movie that actually was successful in the late 90s?
Starship Troopers.
It's probably Starship Troopers, except for that was 2000. But
was
I'll
it?
Allow it. Yep, I'll allow it. Yeah, that's about
Fifth Element.
No, Fifth Element is a lot more
awesome
visual.
It is.
This is just a wacky. Like, this belongs in the mid 80s. This is not a late 90s movie. I'm not saying like that the late 90s are good, but this thematically belongs in the same area as, say, Ice Pirates.
It's would probably seem like a good double feature with the movie Arena, which is like a tournament fight, but it happens at like a space truck stop.
Right.
And they live on a space truck stop, so it just feels like this movie.
Yeah, it's just the timing and placement of this film makes no sense to me. And I don't think it's supposed to be homage-y to like those films from that era of the mid 80s.
Well, just judging by how it went and how it turned out, and that the director himself was like, on the last day of shooting after they wrap, goes, "All right, Stephen Dorff, what do you want to call it?"
Right.
That happened. Things obviously didn't go the way that they wanted them to from the get-go, and that you have the director caving on, like, and then Stephen Dorff's like, "I think you should call it Space Trucker." Oh, so you just didn't like the S? Fuck off. It's Space Truckers.
Okay, Teffendorf. All right, final recommendations on this. Sam, I'm going to start with you.
I think it's a do. It's a barely do, though, because it's so bad. It's one of those rare that a bad decision is followed by... It's a chain of bad decisions followed by worse execution that is like a never-ending chain of bad decisions, worse execution, bad ideas, worse execution. Everything gets worse once it starts, and it starts bad. The music is like Gershwin had diarrhea, and that diarrhea made the music.
It's got a lot of bad production design, and just production in general. I also am going to give it a do. I was disappointed in it, which isn't much of a surprise. I think that there's a lot of people that like this because they think it's some sort of satire of movies in the same vein. But again, it's not. There is no other movie in the same vein as this. You look at that late 90s block and what things were doing, like I mean, The Matrix isn't out at this point in time, but Johnny Mnemonic is. Everything is everybody's thinking about future technology, and this is like not thinking about future technology at all. It's hearkening back to the glory days of Stuart Gordon's career almost. Like, I just want to make a movie that's like this, not because I want to honor anything or do a different look at what's currently in films. That this is just the type of hokey movie that I like making, and it just doesn't fit. Like, who's your audience for this movie? Which we ask a lot on this podcast. And there's even if you're making this, there's only one audience for it, and it's people 24 years in the future talking about trying to find the best cult movies that there are.
There's no audience for this even then. It's just like this had no audience. One of the reasons I'm giving it a do is, would you like to watch a film that is for no one?
Mm-hmm.
This movie is for no one, not even the director, because he had to ask Steven Dorff what to call it at the end.
Right. But yeah, I do think it has some. I think it has some elements that are good. Charles Dance is awesome, always. The killer robot has a cool design. I like it. I think some of the death gore is fun. And then there's a few lines here and there. And the other thing is, Dennis Hopper didn't piss me off. A lot of the time, Dennis Hopper pisses me right off. But I actually kind of had a good time with him here, and he shouldn't have worked because he's never the protagonist. Because he's Dennis Hopper, but I didn't hate him here.
I didn't mind him, and I liked the movie. Actually had some good momentum on the front end of like stupid thing after stupid thing. Like the diner's dumb, the pigs are dumb, the truck looks dumb. I think one of the reasons why I really don't like the movie, or why it took me so long to warm up to Idiocracy, is because its production design is as clunky as this production design.
Yeah, right.
And they had an excuse. They got their money taken away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But like the art direction in Idiocracy looks about the same as the art direction in this, and they're both terrible.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And $25 million here is what they spent in 1997. That was a lot of money. So crazy.
$25 million, and they didn't even shoot it in Hollywood. They shot it in Ireland, so they had tax breaks. They didn't spend like... That's where it's like you see those pigs and you're like, where else could you have spent this? Because I know how much you spent on this and it's too much.
Yeah.
Like every piece of it was too expensive and it doesn't look great because you could have made something better you could have made awesome shit for the same amount of money. That would have been better film elements.
Yeah, anyways, that's where we're going to be on Space Truckers. A little bit of a letdown, but still a do from both of us. Next week on the podcast, Sam, what have we got prepared?
I'm not here next week. Remember, I'm in L.A.
L.A. That's a good... I'm not here next week. I'm in L.A. I haven't heard of that movie, but it sounds an interesting idea.
Yeah, no, it's you and Tucker next week. You'll have to figure out what you're going to do without me.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe we'll just take next week off. I'm pretty tired. Either way.
Oh, that's what's tugging it out of me.
It's good. I need at least a week, including next Sunday. That's how tired I am. Either way, we'll figure it out, and I'll let you guys know. Have a great week. Get to the chopper.